What's up guys, Cali Sunset Gaming with you again, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to use the tactics menu on FIFA 20 so that you can utilise it for your FIFA 20 career mode. Let's get to it. So I know a lot of you guys play FIFA Ultimate Team, but some of the information that I'm going to be giving you today can be transferred over to that. Mainly, this is going to be for people who play FIFA 20 career mode and also the online seasons. Let's say that you start a brand new career with a random team. In this case, we'll say Real Madrid. From here, you have two choices. You either stick with the formation that they already have, or you implement your own. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, there's two things that we have to take into account. The players you have and your style of play. The team that you have influences the choices that you make to be able to get the best out of the players that you currently have in your squad. As a for instance, you're not going to pick a Division 2 side in England with shallow squad depth and try and maintain a high press for your full season, because eventually your players are going to get leggy and that type of tactic is not going to work in the latter stages of the season or the playoffs if you manage to make it that far. Your style of play is based on, you guessed it, how you play. Think about if you find it easy to mark players manually, or if you find it easy to take on players with a low skill rated player that's a defender. If you find it easier to play out from the back, especially take this into account if you're playing on ultimate difficulty and you haven't played on it since the update has come out. It's much harder to play out from the back if you're not comfortable playing with players that don't have a high skill rating. That way you need more people back so that you can pass it across your back four to the midfielders that have dropped back so that you can then go on to the attack. Once you've taken this into account, then it's time to move on to the formation. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to pick a flat 4-3-3, which is quite common, especially in today's Premier League. This is something that you're probably going to come across a lot when you're playing online seasons. A lot of players that you play against will be picking the 4-3-3 just because it's what's most commonly used in real life. The first thing you do from there is move over to the tactics page. This is where the previous thoughts of the team that you have and how you play come into account. So the first section to address is your defence. At the top of the screen, a brief description of what the tactic is going to appear, so make sure you read through that each time you select a new tactic. Balanced is the average Joe of tactics, so select this if you want your defence to try and accommodate for each style of play as it occurs during a match. Pressure on heavy touch is designed to be an offensive tactic. The aim is to press high, usually win the ball in the opposing half of the pitch. Essentially what you're going to be doing is waiting for a mistake. Press after possession loss. The idea is to win the ball back in a very short time frame, but if it's not successful, what you're going to be doing is drawing up to 4 players out of position. This is good to use against teams who can't keep up with you. The essential tactic here is to just smother them. Constant pressure is each man applying pressure within their zonal area. This is done whenever you don't have the ball, but this is not friendly to a team with a shallow squad depth. Drop back is the most common. Now what you're doing is you're allowing the opposition to come onto you. The idea is to win it deep and then go on to the counter attack. You're allowing them to come onto you so that you free more space up for your attacking players in their half of the pitch. For attacking, again, balanced is just accommodating for each scenario as it occurs during a game. Long ball, this is best to use for holding players that either sit on that last man or hang back to allow the wingers to initiate an attack. Fast build up. Your players are going to work to break quickly. Passing is done with purpose and everyone in the team is going to shift forward at pace. This is great to use against teams that aren't able to keep up with how fast your team is, but the downside is you're leaving yourself open to counter attack because everyone in the team is shifting forward. Possession, essentially tiki-taka. This is one where you have to trust your players and your ability as a player as well. This one, you're inviting pressure onto your team, so you're opening gaps in the final third. You're waiting for that opportunity to go on the break. The width and other sliders dictate the play style too. What I would suggest personally is narrow for defence and then wide for an attack. Choose width carefully when you're attacking though. For instance, if you're playing possession, you don't want it too wide, as you want multiple passing options for the player that has the ball. So next you have instructions. Now instructions are what you tell specific players to carry out during the duration of a football match. Now there's different ones that you can do for different formations, and when you select different formations there may be certain options that don't pop up in this video. What I will do is give you a rundown of the different types of instructions that you can provide to a player when you are playing in a flat 4-3-3. So here on the breakdown you have for your striker separate instructions that you can provide to them. And that is support runs, attacking runs, interceptions, and then defensive support. The thing is that these can all be changed whenever you're editing a game plan, so you can provide different instructions to a player per game plan. Always remember that as well. So for attacking runs you've got get in behind, which is stand on the shoulder of the last man. Mixed attack, which is basically the preset. Target man, he allows those wingers to go around him and initiate attack that way. And then false 9, he'll drop a lot deeper, so he can pick up the ball in a much earlier time frame and allow to release it to players overtaking him. Moving on to the midfield now, and we have attacking support, support on crosses, interceptions. Now the attacking support, you can have them charge forward no matter what as soon as they go on the attack, drop between defenders, which is maintaining the shape, and then staying back whilst on the attack as well. You can use that for more defensive tactics. In terms of the support on crosses, you can have them mix it up, stay on the edge of the box for a cross looking for that venomous volley, or you can have them get into the box. Obviously, if you're on ultra attacking, I would advise to get even the midfielders into the box for those. Moving on to your defenders, there's not as many options for the defenders. You can have them stay back while attacking, which is the default for a central defender. The other option is to have them play as a striker, so you can have that for your ultra attacking, or you can have them to join the attack. You can use this, like I said, for the different game plans that you have available to you. Make sure that you just mix it up and try and experiment with each different option that you have per game plan. When all this is taken into account, on top of it, you also have 5 different ways in which you can play. That is balanced, defensive, ultra defensive, attacking, and ultra attacking. So essentially the information that I'm giving you today can be applied to balanced, and it can then be applied to the other 4 types of tactics that you can use in a standard game, and you can adjust whether you're playing in balanced, defensive, ultra defensive, attacking, or ultra attacking purely by pressing left or right on your D-pad. These effects come into play immediately. The ball doesn't need to go out of play, and if you have dramatic changes in terms of how you have your defensive or ultra attacking, you will see the players make the movement around the pitch to accommodate the instructions that you're giving them. Now the information, like I said, that I'm giving you guys today, what you can do is implement that and then use it across the different types of tactics and the different formation setups that you can have. A good idea may possibly be to have your ultra defensive as a deeper formation that sits much further back, only having possibly 1 or 2 people that go onto the attack. This can be used against teams that are much better than you know are faster than you, and you know are going to control most of the play. So now what I will do is I will go into detail and give you examples while showing you the specifics of the way that I've set up Real Madrid. Make sure that you keep a lookout for whilst the game is going on for the instructions that I've given and how the players carry out those instructions. So Celta Vigo, first game of the season, we know we're going to beat them. 100% we know we're going to beat them. So we expect to win, and as a result I've brought Hazard and Jovic into the team. For this game, the idea is to sit deep. What we are doing is we're allowing Celta Vigo to continuously attack us. The idea is that eventually they'll pull more people forward and give us the opportunity to go on the break. What I've done is I've made sure that Jovic understands that he is a man that is intended to get in behind. That is the instruction that I've given him for this game. That way, what he'll do is he'll hang off the shoulder of the last man, waiting for the break, and then from there, what we can do is initiate a counter-attack. 9 times out of 10, it'll be Jovic who's finishing his dinner and asking for seconds. Okay, so the game kicks off against Celta, and straight away from the off, you can see the players sit back. They're dropping back in formation. There's no dramatic changes in terms of the overall shape. What Celta have to do is try and worm it through us, and as a result, we managed to get the ball clear relatively quickly. Again, they're on another attack. This time they try and play it out wide. Each time one singular player in each zonal area is going in for the attack. They keep it out wide. Each time only having one man go for them. They manage to get a crossing but Courtois saves, it's no stress. This one I put in there just to prove that the tactics do have faults. Obviously you need to keep aware. They're still dropping back in formation, but Celta managed to get a ball through, and as a result they managed to get a goal out of it. This one's just a absolutely naughty ball. Like I said, Jovic hanging off that last man. You want him as that player that's going to get in behind. As a result, you can see Hazard just ping that ball across. The defender steps way too soon, and Jovic, as he's on that last man, manages to get away with the goal. We've got a high number of players indicated to get into the box when we do go on the attack. This Gareth Bale goal that you do see is a result of people flooding the box and ensuring that we outnumber the defenders and find that space that we so desperately need. Again, this Jovic goal starts from us winning the ball, dropping back in formation. As I stated before, we managed to snatch it, and Jovic is hanging on that last man. As he moves, watch him. There's the gap. And it's all she wrote. Now, before you say anything, I understand it's much easier for me to demonstrate this when I'm using a team like Real Madrid, who are expected to beat near enough every team that they come against. But this can be implemented for other teams. The information that I'm giving you can be used across every single team within FIFA. The reason that I've used Real Madrid is just because it's so easy to demonstrate how the tactics work. That way it gives it an easier opportunity for you to understand and then implement it in your own career mode or your online seasons. For the next game, what I did is make sure that the striker understands that his role is going to be to act as a target man. Now, a target man is not someone who sits on the last defender and looks to make a break for goal. Instead, what he will do is he will hold up the play and use his strength to keep the ball and allow players to move past him. This is very similar to the false nine role that you can give to a striker as well. Now, the false nine role for a striker means that he will sit a lot deeper and actually allow the people that are sitting in central midfield to overtake him as well. What you will do is you will notice that during this game that we play, which is the second one in the season, that Benzema will not actually begin to make his movement until he either watches Bale or Hazard do the overlap. So for this goal, it starts from a goal kick. As they move, you'll notice something. The ball gets played through and it gets passed through to Benzema. What I'll do is I'll pause it here just so that you can see Benzema's position and compare it with Jovic, who was standing on that last man. Notice how he's dropped deeper and now he's in line with the midfield for the opposition. What he does is he allows Bale and Hazard to do the overlap. As you can see, they're standing level with the defensive line. Now, I was going to continue a slow build-up just so that you could see how the play progresses, but I thought Hazard running down the wing, cuts inside onto his right, top bins, yes, vamos! Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Now, obviously, there's loads of things that you can do. What I would suggest is that you go and you experiment. My personal opinion is when you have the type of play that you want to conduct for your team, you set that as your balanced, and then you slowly work through defensive, ultra defensive, attacking, and ultra attacking. Taking in the information that I've given you, please be aware of the players that you have and also how you play as a player yourself. Like I said before, when you change the formations, the instructions that you can give to each specific player may be different. So just experiment with that and always keep in mind how you play and how best to defeat the opposition that you're going against. I wanted to do this video because I know a lot of you guys are struggling with online seasons. On top of that, your career mode as well, when you're starting a new career mode with an unfamiliar team, just to keep the level of interest up. I hope this helped a lot, and if it did, leave a comment in the comment section below. On top of that, if you yourself have got tips that you can offer to people playing FIFA 20, leave a comment in the comment section below on how they can best utilise their play style. Do not forget to smash that like button as well as hit the subscribe button too. That way you'll get an update every time I release a video, and if you hit that notification bell as well, you'll get an update directly to your phone. That way you can keep up to date with all the new videos that I'm going to be releasing. If you do want to see the tactics that I've implemented into my Chelsea squad, that I use on my career mode, then do not forget to check out the link somewhere. Where the hell is it going to be? If you want to see how the tactics that I use are implemented for the Chelsea squad that I have in my career mode, then you can check that out on the link above my head. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time on Cali Sunset Gaming.